Hi there, boys and girls. How are you? My name is Teacher Anika, and today we are going to be doing composition. As we're going to be doing composition, I would like you to head up your names, write the name of the day, and of course, the name of the month. You can also head up for composition. And just to give you an insider, we are going to be doing pitch a story. So head up, get back here, and we're going to get started. Welcome back. Are you ready? I hope you are. Now we're going to make this composition fun because I know many persons get scared as soon as they hear the word composition. You don't need to. It's a fun subject. All you need to do is relax, open your mindset, and you'll be on your way. So as I mentioned before, we are going to be doing picture study. So I'll share some tips and then we're going to get started. Now, when you're doing picture study, of course, you're going to be given a picture to look at and to write on the picture. So here are a few tips that you can follow to make this process easier. The first thing you can do is study the picture carefully. Don't just look at the picture rationally. Take your time, look at each part or elements inside of the picture. Look for things that you can relate to, things that you know, and also you can look for ideas as you look at the picture. To get ideas, you have to use your imagination. So when you look at a picture, don't just look for realistic things. You can use your imagination and you can make believe. When you make believe, it creates any story that you want to happen. Then, when you create that story, of course, you must give that story a name. The same way you would have received a comprehension passage and the passage has a name, when you're doing a picture story, you have to give it a name. Okay? So you create the story, then give that story a name. If the picture has characters, you can name them if you know them. If they're unfamiliar to you, you can give each character a name. This will help you to create more content. Or rather than saying the boy, the girl, no, you can give the boy a name, you can give the girl a name. And this will make your composition seems more realistic. Then, I'd like you to think before you write. So this means not as soon as you see the picture, you hurry to start writing. You need to stop, relax, look at the picture carefully, use your imagination, come up with the name of the story, come up with the ideas that you're going to be using or what it is you're going to be talking about before you even start writing. I know sometimes it seems that you have to write so that you don't forget what it is that you came up with or just pop up in your mind. I know that way. But when you write and then think, your story is going to be all over the place. And we need it to be in a nice sequence. So not as soon as something pops up inside of your brain, you are going to hurry to put it down on paper before you forget it. If you are going to put it down on paper, maybe you can do so on a scrap paper, and then you can always look back at it. But do not start writing and then think after. So we have to think before we write. And finally, when you're writing a story, you need to have a beginning, you need to have the body, which is the middle, and you need to have an ending. So for instance, if I'm telling you about a day at the supermarket, and I start by saying, I woke up, Mommy said, let's go to the supermarket. I told you how we got there. I told you what the supermarket looked like inside, the things that we bought, all these various things inside of the supermarket. But then I forgot to tell you that after finished shopping, we went home. You may assume that I never went home and I slept at the supermarket. So we need to have a proper conclusion. You need to end your story properly. All right? So don't forget, we have to have a beginning, a middle, which is the body, and the ending. So let's look at a picture, and I'll give you some time to think about it. Remember the tips that I just shared. You need to study the picture carefully. Then you need to use your imagination. Create a name for the story. Name the characters in the story. Think before you write, and also ensure the story has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. So look at the picture on the screen. Take some time to think about it, and then we are going to talk about it. What do you think of the picture that you're seeing on the screen? There are a few things going on inside of that picture. First, let's name the items or the objects that we're seeing inside that picture. We can start with the trees. I see a bear. There's a girl and a boy. In the background, I can see some mountains. I see clouds. I see the sky. I can see the dirt that they're standing on. And also I can see some grass. Are you seeing those things? Now, how can we turn that picture into a story? What do you think is happening there? Now, this is where you have to use your imagination. You can create a story in any form as long as it's carrying the bear, the boy, and the girl inside of it. So let's start creating a story. When I'm writing a picture story, the first thing I like to look at is the type of weather. So that's at the top of the picture. And here I can see that either it's a sunny day or I can say it's a cloudy day. Which one should I choose? A cloudy day or a sunny day? I will choose it is a sunny day since I can see the shadow of the children on the ground. So I'll begin my story by saying it was a sunny day. Then, remember I said, give the characters a name. So for the girl, we can say her name is Natasha. And for the boy, we can probably call him Paul. So we have Paul and Natasha. So let's go back to the top. It is a sunny day. Paul and Natasha decided to go on a camping trip. They like to camp in the forest. Now, why do you think I choose forest? Because when I look at the picture, I would assume it seems as though they're in the forest because we're seeing the trees and I'm seeing some mountains way in the background. So I know for sure they're not in the city or in their backyard. So I'll choose forest. That's the place that they decided to go camping. Now, what can we say about the bear? What is he doing there? Is this a friendly bear or an angry bear? He seems a bit friendly, and we can also give the bear a name. We can say Mr. Bear, or if you come up with any other name, you can use it as well. So what I'm seeing here, I can say probably they met Mr. Bear on the camping trip and they all became friends. So maybe the next day they decided to go on a scavenger hunt and Mr. Bear joined them because for sure Mr. Bear is not trying to eat them. So as you continue to think, the story can go in various directions. Depends on what you're seeing and what you're thinking. So when you're using your imagination, you can create a story the same way you read a storybook. When someone reads your composition, it must seem as if they're reading from a storybook. So when I look at a picture, as I mentioned before, I'm going to say that Natasha and Paul went on a camping trip and that's where they met Mr. Bear. And I can create a story all around that. Now, I do not necessarily need to stress on the entire camping trip. I can simply talk about one day. And maybe it's the day that I'm saying that they decided to go on a hunting trip. So see how easy it is to look at a picture and come up with a story? But what about the name? What am I going to name the story? I can name it The Unforgettable Camping Trip or My Friend Mr. Bear or The Summer I Would Never Forget. See, various names you can come up with, but you must just choose one. So I'm going to leave you to write a composition on this story and then you are going to read it to your mom or dad. But just before you get started, I'll give you options. I have another picture I want you to look at and you are also going to write a composition on that picture. You can write on both or you can choose one. So look at the next picture on your screen. Now what is going on here? I can see a messy bedroom. I hope your bedroom doesn't look like this. Now, what can we say about this picture? Because we're seeing so many things inside of this picture. So that means it will give us more content or more sentences because there's a lot going on inside of that picture. So once again, we have to stop, look at the picture carefully from top to bottom, side to side, look at everything inside of the picture, and then we're going to start using our imagination. If there's a character, we're going to give that character a name rather than just saying the woman, the man, the boy, or the girl. We don't want our composition to seem boring, so we'll need to add some names in there. For instance, in this picture, we can see a girl. Also, we can see an expression on her face. What should we think or what do you think is happening here? Do you think you can write a composition on this picture and find a name for it? I know I would give it the name My Messy Bedroom because I can pretend to be the girl inside of the picture instead of just saying Jane. See? So you can pretend that that's you or you can pretend it's someone else and then write the story there. Now, if we pretend that that's you inside of the bedroom, just pretend that you came home and this is what you saw when you opened your bedroom door. I think you'd want to go crazy. What could have happened? Who did this? Who's going to clean it up? What happens if mom comes home and see my room like this? Start thinking of all those questions that I give to you, and the answers to those questions will help you to formulate a composition. So I want you to decide which one you're going to be writing on. Are you going to be writing on this picture or the picture before? One has less content inside of it. The other has more. So you decide which one you're going to write about. Remember, I need a beginning, a middle, which is the body, and an ending. And of course, I need a name for the story. Now, when you're looking at the picture and you're writing about it, let me give you another tip. Don't just write the bedroom is dirty, the bedroom is colorful, I can see a bed, I can see a shirt, I can see a sock, I can see a bear. No, that's sounding repetitive. We don't want to say I can see, I can see, I can see, and then you end up with 10 sentences of I can see. Try to make it more realistic. Inside of the bedroom, there is a bed and a chair. There is a computer. On the computer desk, I can see many books. And when you do it that way, it does not seem to be boring, as I can see a bed, I can see a chair, I can see a girl, I can see a clock. All right? So let's try not to do that. And give the girl a name. You can pretend that you're the girl, or you can just imagine what she's feeling and what she's seeing through her eyes. So take your time, do your work, and when you're finished, don't forget to show your book to an adult so that they can read the story, or you can read it to them, and then they can check on the spelling and the handwriting. So complete your work. Until we meet next time, this is Teacher Nika saying bye, and don't forget your tips for composition. Remember, composition is a fun subject. All you need to do is relax and use your imagination. Bye.